When your boss tells you to go home and change over a pair of jeans, you can either take it or you can turn it into a show. I worked at a dying video rental store in the early 2010s. It meant quiet nights, familiar faces, and one petty district manager who decided to make a power play over my pants. But by the end of that night, I was the best-dressed man to ever rent out Shrek 2. If you've ever had a boss who thought rules mattered more than common sense, smash that like button and subscribe, because this story is the definition of classy revenge. This all went down around 2011 or 2012, during the final breath of the video rental era. Streaming was taking over, Redbox was on every corner, and family video was just hanging on for dear life. I was a college student, working as an assistant manager at one of the company's smaller stores. On paper, that made me management. In reality, it meant I did everything from closing the registers to restocking Fast and Furious DVDs for the third time that week. It wasn't a stressful job. We had slow traffic, a few regulars, and lots of time to study behind the counter. Everyone got along, and the job had one simple dress code. No jeans. Collared shirt, dress pants, what corporate called professional casual. But in practice, nobody cared. We all wore jeans. Every single one of us, even my store manager. It was just unspoken common sense. This was a video rental store, not Wall Street. Then came a Thursday that started out ordinary, but ended in petty bureaucracy. I'd been on campus for classes since 9:30 a.m. and was scheduled for the 4 p.m. to midnight shift. So I dressed simply. Jeans and a button-down shirt, professional enough for our store, or so I thought. When I walked in, I noticed our district manager was standing at the counter. This guy rarely showed up, and he wasn't the friendly type. He was the clipboard type, the kind who loved corporate policies and power trips more than people. He gave me a quick up-and-down glance. About 30 minutes into my shift, he called me over. Assistant manager. Can I talk to you for a second? His tone had that cold politeness that tells you you're about to get scolded for something completely pointless. We stepped aside, and he said, "You're violating company dress code. No jeans allowed." I blinked. "Sir, I've been wearing jeans here for months. Everyone does. Even the store manager." He crossed his arms, completely unmoved. "I don't care what anyone else does. You're in management. You're supposed to set an example. Go home. Change. Then come back." I tried to reason with him. "Sir, my house is a 15-minute drive away. That's 30 minutes there and back, plus time to change. You'd be alone in the store for an hour." He didn't flinch. "Then I'll work the counter until you get back. But if you want to keep your job, lose the jeans." He said it with this smug satisfaction, like he was enforcing the sacred laws of retail. And that's when something inside me just clicked. Fine. If he wanted no jeans, he was going to get the most overdressed family video employee in history. I got in my car, fuming the whole way home. Every red light made my jaw tighten a little more. By the time I reached my apartment, I wasn't just irritated, I was inspired. If this man wanted professionalism, I'd give him a spectacle. I went to my closet and grabbed the fanciest thing I owned, a deep blue 3-piece suit. This was the suit I wore to weddings, interviews, and once, a funeral. I put on a starched white shirt, a yellow striped tie, and my grandfather's shiny I polished my shoes until they were so glossy I could see my own fury reflected in them. And just to complete the performance, a splash of my nicest cologne and my biggest, flashiest wristwatch. I looked like I was about to host an award show, not rent out DVDs to teenagers. And the best part, every single bit of it was within the company dress code. When I walked back into that store, it was like stepping onto a red carpet. The bell above the door gave a little ding, and everyone turned. Customers, my coworkers, the district manager. His eyes widened for just a split second before he forced his face back into a neutral expression, but I could feel the awkward tension radiating off him. I smiled. "Evening, sir." "I'm back, per your request." I took my place behind the counter, my polished shoes clicking sharply on the tile with every step. For the next 2 hours, I worked silently and flawlessly, scanning movies, bagging popcorn, recommending comedies to regulars, all with the poise of a modern D at a five-star restaurant. Every so often I'd catch customers giving me confused looks. "Wow, you look nice today." One sighed. Another asked, "Is it your birthday or something?" And with a perfectly straight face, I'd reply, "I take this job very seriously. If you're going to rent movies with respect, you've got to look the part." The smirk I was fighting behind my polite grin could have powered the entire store. My boss, the store manager, came in about an hour later. He took one look at me and immediately had to stifle a laugh. You could see it in his eyes. He knew exactly what was going on. But the district manager, he said absolutely nothing. Not a single comment about my attire. No praise. No acknowledgement. Just an awkward, tight-lipped silence that screamed, "I lost this round." He hung around for another 2 hours, watching me assist customers in full formal glory, until finally, he muttered a quick, "Thank you for your time," and left. The moment the door closed behind him, my manager burst out laughing. "Dude, I can't believe you actually did that." I just shrugged, straightened my tie, and said, "Well, rules are rules." For the rest of the night, I was a walking inside joke. Customers kept complimenting the new professional look. My coworkers were taking bets on whether I'd show up in a tuxedo for my next shift. Even better, the story spread. By the next week, employees from neighboring stores were jokingly asking, "Did you hear about the guy who wore a three-piece suit to family video?" And the district manager. We never spoke again. He got transferred a few months later, and the day he left was the day jeans quietly became officially tolerated again. He sent me home over jeans, so I came back dressed like James Bond. Customers thought I had a job interview. My coworkers couldn't stop laughing, and the only thing my district manager could say was, "Thank you." He wanted control. Instead, I gave him a fashion show. Here's what made it perfect. This was never about clothes. It was about control. That manager wasn't enforcing a dress code. He was enforcing dominance. He wanted to remind me that he had authority and that my time didn't matter. So I took his order, turned it into theater, and made him the fool every time he looked at me that night. Dressed to the nines, greeting customers like a CEO at a film festival. He had to face the reality of his own pettiness. And I didn't break a single rule. He had no ammunition. All he could do was sit there, stewing in silence, while I turned compliance into comedy. To this day, I'm still not sure if he secretly respected me or quietly hated me for it. But honestly, I didn't care. I learned something powerful that night. The moral is, sometimes you don't have to fight power, you just have to outclass it. Revenge doesn't always need anger. Sometimes all it takes is a suit, a smile, and perfect timing. If this story made you grin, hit that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the pettiest revenge you've ever pulled on a boss? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories where karma shows up wearing Thanks for watching.